A day after President Trump announced a sweeping new round of tariffs, the stock market is responding. The price increases you could see tonight. Plus, we spoke with Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown to discuss how Governor Ferguson's proposed budget cuts could impact Spokane.
We're finally seeing a break from the April showers, but how long will this dry and warm weather last?
Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5 tonight. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney has the evening off. New tonight, Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown is weighing in on the state of Washington's budget woes and how they could impact Spokane. This after Governor Bob Ferguson is pushing state lawmakers to tweak their proposals before he gives his final approval. In our effort to bring you more to every story, KREM 2's chief journalist Amanda Rowley met with the mayor to get her perspective on the state's budget.
Washington State's legislature has less than a month to hammer out the state's budget.
There's still a long way to go between the governor's budget and the House proposed and the Senate proposed.
Spokane Mayor Lisa Brown met with Governor Bob Ferguson last weekend. She learned funding for affordable housing and a Spokane-specific encampment resolution program are at risk. But the mayor feels optimistic these funding sources will remain intact.
I'm hopeful, especially on the housing front, because I think there has been this shared recognition that we need more housing in order to make housing more affordable.
The two also discussed the future of the North-South Freeway. Mayor Brown told the governor she supports the Senate's gas tax proposal as she believes it would keep the corridor project on track.
I think that that's the path to making sure that with rising construction costs and inflation that we can actually get the corridor completed.
Mayor Brown also used her visit with the governor to express her interest in bringing back housing to empty lots like these in East Central. The Washington State Department of Transportation purchased and vacated hundreds of properties along this stretch of I-90 to make space for construction activity associated with building the North-South corridor.
But now, as we're starting to look to the end of it and to the connection finally being made to I-90, that land will be available to be turned back into productive uses.
So I kind of just seen how it thrived, and then I kind of seen how it died, and I kind of want to be part of the revamping part of East Central.
Teresa Brooks grew up in East Central. She'd love to see life brought back to this part of her neighborhood.
I think that's a great idea, the mayor wanting to use it, because right now it's like just becoming just empty land, and when you're driving on the freeway, it's like, what's going on there?
Development here is still being decided. Meantime, Spokane's mayor awaits a final state operating budget and how Spokane will move forward under the finalized version. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Continuing coverage on the child care chaos after a Head Start office that serves Idaho and Washington closed abruptly. KREM 2's Shannon Mounty has been pushing for more answers about how this could impact local families, and tonight she has more after speaking with the heads of Spokane's Head Start sites.
Spokane Colleges runs 11 Head Start sites like this one at the Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center. College leadership is now encouraging families it'll keep these programs running, even with huge voids in information about the fate of a majority of the program's funding.
Hop, hop, hop like a bunny.
For around 700 children across Spokane County,
Good job.
Head Start is the jump start they need for school and life. It's why Spokane College's Chancellor Kevin Brockbank feels so passionately this can't be its end.
If you take Head Start out of this community, there will be a ripple effect that will last for decades.
The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, under Secretary Robert Kennedy, appears to be consolidating Head Start regional offices by half. That meant the immediate closure of the Seattle-based Region 10 office Tuesday.
For many, many years, that has been our main conduit to the Office of Head Start in Washington, D.C.
The closure hasn't just severed that tie, it's left Spokane Colleges largely in the dark. Brockbank says there are still no answers as to how consolidation could impact the college's $16 million Head Start grant. In other words, 80% of the program's funding.
There's nowhere to direct that request to at this point. As the offices have changed, it leaves us with a void in connecting effectively with the federal government. And that's, of course, one of our concerns.
Brockbank says the Trump administration's also scrutinizing the viability of Head Start entirely.
Really concerning to us.
He says they're advocating any way they can, including to Congress. This program is worth every penny in federal money.
Children who would not have that kind of opportunity for that kind of early learning is invaluable. You can talk to instructors in K-12 who will tell you they can see who the Head Start kids are when they walk in the classroom.
He just hopes, passionately, their voices are heard.
If Head Start funds are taken away, it will cause a larger impact that will not be positive.
Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
The Port of Seattle is seeing a 30% surge in the number of containers arriving by ship. And while that may seem like good news, the port commissioners say it's a sign of an economic downturn to come. The sudden surge in goods being imported and exported from Seattle is a sign that companies are rushing to do more business before the costs go up. When shipping containers arrive full of goods from Asia, companies want them returned in full of goods from America. As tariffs go up, there are fewer goods being transported, which means fewer shipping containers become available for Washington farmers to ship perishable goods like apples, potatoes, and cherries.
If you're a business that is manufacturing anything with imported goods, you're going to feel it in your margins. And if you're a farmer, you're going to feel it on the export side.
To prevent perishables and other items from sitting in storage warehouses, the Port of Seattle is staging empty containers for exporters to use. 25% tariffs on all vehicles shipped to the U.S. start today. They're being slapped on any vehicle not assembled in the U.S., which experts say accounts for 46% of vehicles sold domestically. Here are other ways you may feel the impact of the tariffs. Number one, higher prices. Most economists predict U.S. businesses that pay the tariffs will pass on some or all of those costs to consumers. Second, expect an economic slowdown. JP Morgan predicts a global recession if Trump maintains his tariffs, though his supporters note other countries don't have to retaliate. Third, expect major blows to retirement funds if the stock market doesn't fully rebound. 4, be prepared for high interest rates if the Federal Reserve sees too much inflation. And number 5, growth for some domestic manufacturers, which economists say are the biggest winners under Trump's tariffs. Markets tumbled today as nervous investors reacted to President Trump's sweeping new tariffs. The Dow plunged more than 1,600 points. The Nasdaq fell more than 1,000 today. Looking at Pacific Northwest companies specifically, most closed down significantly, with Boeing and Alaska Airlines stock losing 10%. Costco doing better, closing up slightly today. The president previously acknowledged there may be some temporary pain as a result of the new tariffs, but says they are necessary to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. And across the board, 10% tariff on all imports is set to begin on Saturday, and then added reciprocal tariffs start next week. The administration's 25% tariff on all foreign vehicles and auto parts kicks in at midnight. Canada, one of America's largest trading partners, says it's retaliating against the auto tariffs.
We're up almost to $7 trillion of investment coming into our country, and you'll see how it's going to turn out. Our country's going to boom.
By matching the U.S. approach with 25% tariffs on all vehicles imported from the United States that are not compliant with CUSMA, our North American Free Trade Agreement.
Today, a bipartisan pair of senators led by Washington Democrat Maria Cantwell and Republican Chuck Grassley of Iowa introduced a bill that would require the president to notify Congress before putting any new tariffs in place. They would then need approval from Congress to remain in effect. And coming up on KREM 2 News at 6 tonight, or our night report rather, we spoke with a local tariff expert today about better understanding how these new tariffs are going to impact us here locally. And to stay up to date on tariffs and how they are impacting our local communities, make sure to download the KREM 2 Plus app. You can download it on your TV and start watching for free. All right, let's talk weather. It may be Thursday, but everyone's looking forward to the weekend, myself included. We sent our Cody Proctor outside to get a check of the forecast, and she has more on what's coming our way as well. Cody?
Well, Mark, as your outside reporter out in the Outdoor Weather Center, let me just tell you, it got a little chillier out here and a little breezier outside. So, yes, we are looking at some beautiful weather as we head into the weekend, but we still have to get through tonight first. And right now, we're at 50 degrees over at the Spokane Airport. While at the airport, the winds are calm. Maybe a little less so out here in our Outdoor Weather Center, just keeping that in mind. When it comes to around our region, we're still seeing some temperatures in the 60s right now for Wenatchee and for Moses Lake, 50s for Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint currently right now into the 40s at the moment. We've been keeping track of some scattered showers here and there across the region. Like I said, it's a little breezy out here. Some of our most active spots, what we're tracking right now, are throughout parts of eastern Washington right here. Looks like around the Idaho or around the state line for Idaho and Washington. We still have also this convective outlook, so there's still the possibility for some stormy weather for today. Not much of one, but the possibility is there, so just keep that in mind. Hour by hour as we head into the next 12 hours, we still have that chance potentially for some active weather here and there for the next couple hours. But as we head into our overnight hours, we're looking at clearer skies. That's expected to drop down our temperatures for us and could be a chilly start to your Friday morning. But take a look at that 3-day. Tomorrow for Friday could be seeing our highs in the upper 50s. Saturday, Sunday could put us up into the 60s. But we're not done with that active weather in the next 7 days. More is coming up in your full forecast.
All right, we'll talk to you then, Cody. Thank you very much. And coming up, we have new information regarding the recent shootings in Moses Lake, what police are saying about the incidents.